I'm very pleased to welcome to our studios today two singers, both of them mezzos, one slightly higher, one more a contralto. But at any rate, they are Katherine Curtis and Alyse Jamieson. Welcome to both of you.
Hi.
Thank you for having us.
We're going to talk about the U of O Opera Ensemble. You're both in master's programs at the U of O. The ensemble is doing two operas. It's a double bill this weekend. So tell me what the operas are, Katherine.
Yes, we're doing two one-act operas by American composers in English, which is appealing to a lot of people because they can understand it a little bit better. We're doing Leonard Bernstein's Trouble in Tahiti, as well as Gian-Carlo Menotti's The Old Maid and the Thief.
So who wants to go first? Well, actually, which opera will be presented first in this double bill?
That will be The Old Maid and the Thief, which Katie mentioned was written by Menotti in 1939.
What's it about, Alyse?
Old Maid and the Thief takes place in a small mid-American town during the early 1940s. My character, Miss Todd, is a old spinster lady with a penchant for gossip, who, along with my best friend, or frenemy, I guess you could say, Miss Pinkerton, played by Kathleen Murphy-Geis, we waste a lot of time kind of going through the phone book and just talking a lot of trash about everybody in town.
Really?
Yeah, it's great fun. So everything is going normally, and suddenly a handsome vagabond named Bob, played by Matthew Blumenstein, shows up at my door, and my manipulative maid, Letitia, double cast as Shannon McCaleb and Sarah Benzinger, kind of convinced me to keep this guy around, saying, oh, he actually really likes you. I see him looking at you. And so my wheels start turning, and I'm this delusional woman who's like, oh, yeah, definitely. It makes sense that this young man of 20 would be in love with, a 65, 70-year-old woman. And we keep him there and we house him and feed him. And suddenly this rumor comes out about an escaped convict hiding in town who suspiciously matches the description of Bob. And we think, oh, could this be the guy? But we don't care because I want so badly to be loved and to keep this guy around and feel important that we go to all these ridiculous lengths to keep him around.
Does it end badly?
Well,
it depends on who.
Depends on who you ask. Yeah. It has a surprising ending where some people win and some people lose.
All right. So, and you're very smart in not telling us what that ending is. What about the music? Menotti writes in what is certainly be a very, very accessible style, doesn't he?
Yes, he's really great at mixing kind of high classical music with more popular music idioms, and sometimes suddenly we'll be doing this recitative style, and then this kind of ragtimey waltz will come in, and it really, but it's indicative of a certain kind of affect that he wants to kind of permeate this scene. So in that way, it's really cool because 1 minute you're having a regular scene and singing all your pitches, and then it's like, oh, here's clearly something to indicate that somebody's drunk or
right.
somebody is feeling very seductive. And so it's excessive, but at the same, or accessible, but at the same time, still high art,
right.
Still operatic.
Right. And this is, what would we call this? Would we call this semi-staged or is this fully staged?
It is fully staged.
Fully staged. So you'll have costumes, some sets, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And what about instrumental accompaniment?
We will, our orchestra is the fabulous Gabriel Coelho, and he and our conductor Vincent provide us all the instrumental backbone we need.
Yes, good, all
yes.
right. And let's turn to you now, Katherine. You're doing Trouble in Tahiti by Leonard Bernstein, which is a work that actually is performed, I think, probably more than The Old Maid and the Thief. I've seen it a couple of times, but tell our listeners briefly what that's about.
Trouble in Tahiti is great fun, but at the same time hits kind of close to home, I think, for a lot of people. It's the story of a married couple. The title, I think, is deceiving. Before I did my research, I was like, oh, great, I'm going to Tahiti. I get to wear a grass skirt. Not true. It takes place in the 1950s suburbs. And actually, many people have sort of extrapolated that this is autobiographical of Leonard Bernstein. Sam and Dinah are both family names. Dinah is his grandmother's name, and Sam is his actual father's name, was. And it basically tells the story of a couple who are trying so hard to make it work, but are unhappy. And it's so interesting because here is this marital strife and back and forth bickering for most of the opera. But then coming in is this trio, which is originally written as a jazz trio to be on mic, actually in the pit. And so it's kind of interesting that he juxtaposes this, classical singing, very full sound, unamplified on stage, but then has the soft, sultry tones of a jazz trio.
Right.
And they are basically personifying 1950s.
Yes.
Be happy, be smiley.
Oh, it's a great trio.
Oh, it's fantastic. I'm really excited. We have Heather Batchelor, Alicia Piper, Ray Jackson, and Daniel Cruz. I know I just mentioned 4. It's because the men are double cast in there. But they do a great job, and they are staged as well. We took some liberty in that direction. But sorry, getting back to the story. Dinah and Sam were once in love. They're in their early 30s, got married quite young, have a son of probably about age 10, and but they've lost it. They've lost something. And basically the whole story just is them fighting and then some inner dialogue about what can we do to make it happen again? What can we do to fall in love again? But then we also get a glimpse into what they do to escape their really upsetting home life. For Sam, it's prowess in the office at work, and he is praised for how well he does in the office, and then also in the gym. He is fit and wins the trophy for everything. And Dinah goes to the psychiatrist to get help, which was actually kind of the trend back then. It sort of became, this Freudian culture came up, and so she has an aria. We're talking about her dreams and trying to process them, but still gets no answers. And then kind of the tour de force that is a kind of a popular thing from this opera is Dinah's aria, What a Movie. She gets out of her movie and just talks about the crazy things that happen in the movie entitled Trouble in Tahiti. Right. And so that is where the name of the opera comes from. And at first she's mocking it, but then she loses herself completely. And we see that is where she gets her true love, is through these fictional characters and fantasy. And so it's great fun for me. I get to do a lot of fun things. But
both of these stories are very poignant in their way, aren't they? They're funny, but, you have women here and men in predicaments that people can certainly relate to. Yeah,
most certainly.
Yeah. So you fully staged as well? And
yes, we are.
Okay.
Yes, you should come and see what we have fully staged, because there is a ton of things that are so much fun, especially during that aria.
Right. And who has done the stage direction for both of these?
That's our fearless opera director, Dr. Katherine Esquivel. She not only stages them, but conceives of the whole thing and is so hands-on, but also lets us play and explore. But she's just fantastic, and the U of O is so lucky to have her.
Indeed.
We're really excited to be working under her and everything that she has for this opera. And we also have a conductor to help aid us to sort of fuse with the piano as well. I think you might have already mentioned that.
Yeah,
Vincent Centeno.
Right. Yes, yeah. Great. So, and the good thing is you're getting to do these twice, because you put a lot of work into them, and to do one performance is kind of leaves a big empty space, doesn't it? Yeah. So tell our listeners about the dates, times, and location, and what the situation is for getting tickets.
Yes, we are performing this Saturday and Sunday, February 8th and 9th. Saturday performance is 7:30 p.m., and the Sunday performance is at 3 o'clock p.m. Both are in Beall Concert Hall on the University of Oregon campus at the School of Music and Dance. And you can get tickets not only by phone, and the phone number for that is 541-346-4363, but also online at tickets.uoregon.edu.
Very good. And I'm assuming that probably some tickets will be available at the door.
Yes. I think that we've done a lot of publicity, and we've gotten a lot of great feedback about people coming. But I think if you arrive this weekend, you could still get some tickets.
Great. Well, lovely to meet you both, and I wish you every success with these performances. Mezzo Katherine Curtis and Mezzo Alyse Jamieson.
Thank you so much, Caitriona.